Hello everyone, my name is Landon Clark and I am the chair of the Sugar House Community Council. I was asked to participate in Salt Lake City's Facebook Live event to let us know about the street reconstruction projects happening in 2020. Today I'll be asking questions from our two experts here on my right, but the city wants to also have you participate as well. Leave your questions or your comments or questions on Facebook below and we will do our best to get them answered. Thank you for joining us. Now I'm going to introduce our two experts. First we have Matt Castle, Salt Lake City engineer, and Valerie Squire, a programmer and analyst for Salt Lake City. They'll give us a brief presentation and then we'll get to the questions. Hope you enjoy.
Am I up?
Go ahead, Matt.
So just one thing, as the questions come into us, they're going to be on Landon's phone. So if he's looking down at his phone, he's looking at the questions rolling in. So it's not that he's lost interest in what I'm saying. He's just watching the questions coming in. So in November of 2018, voters approved an $87 million street reconstruction bond. And we have spent, our engineering department has spent the last year putting those designs together, and the construction on those projects will start here in April. What I want to do today is I want to talk a little bit about the process of how we selected these streets, talk a little bit about the specific streets that are going to be in construction this summer, and then talk about our outreach and what we're trying to do to make sure that people are kept up to speed as to what we're doing on our projects. So let's first talk about the process of selecting the streets. The city every 5 years hires a contractor or a company to come in and survey every single street in the city. They did it 3 or 4 years ago, and what they do is they drive around and it's a machine that evaluates the condition of the street. They take all that information, they put it together, and they basically score the streets 0 to 100. As it's just like you're going to school, 100's the best, 0 is the worst. We take that information and we use it to rank and figure out which streets are in need of being taken care of with maintenance versus being reconstructed. Any street below a score of 40 are streets that we identify as those needing to be reconstructed. We take the information and we then start meeting with our public utilities, our streets department, our transportation division to start to figure out the projects that they have going on, and we use that to try to work through making sure that the projects that we do aren't causing impacts to those other divisions. We don't want to pave a street and then 1 year later have public utilities have to go in and put a water line in, or have some elements missed because we went too quickly on that project. So we work closely with those other divisions, and working with them helps us put together an action plan. And that action plan is actually on fundingourfuture.slc.com. It's a 6-year plan, and it's our what we look forward to, what we use to look forward to identify the projects each year that we're going to reconstruct. One of the things that we talked heavily about as we were trying to identify where to use these dollars, where to use these funds, is which streets should we focus the money on. And it was a deep discussion, and we've identified that we are going to use 80% of our funds on our arterial collector streets. And give you an example of one of those. 3rd West is an arterial, 13th East is an arterial. Those are the bigger streets where a lot more people use those roads. And then we're going to use the remaining 20% on local or neighborhood streets. And so that helps us make sure that when we do these streets, when we reconstruct these streets, that everyone is benefiting from the reconstruction. On our local streets, we are going council district to council district. This summer we're going to be focusing our attention on the local streets located in Council District 1 and 7. And over the next few years, we will be getting to some of the streets in Council District 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we will get to every single council district. It's just going to take us a little bit of time. So one of the things I want to talk about let's talk about our projects for this summer. We have 3 main projects: 700 West from 600 South to 2100 South, 5th East from 1700 South to 2100 South, and 20th East from Parley's Canyon Boulevard to 2700 South. And then we have 17 local street segments that we're going to be reconstructing this summer. And Valerie touched on that a little bit more. I'm not going to go through each and every single street section that we're going to be reconstructing, but she can show the map that we've put together to help you go to it and look and identify which ones are going to be reconstructed. We also have 2 non-bond projects that we need to complete this summer. 700 South between 4800 West and 5600 West was started last summer, and they should be completing that sometime this summer. And unfortunately, 1300 East was supposed to be completed last summer, and only half of it got done, so they will be back out there between 1300 South and 1700 South reconstructing that segment of 1300 East. So the work is going to start here in about a month. In April, we'll start seeing the construction really revving up. And the goal is to finish by the end of this year, 2020. 5th East may take a little bit longer, or probably will take a little bit longer, because there is a big water line that needs to go in 500 East. And that's going to extend the project probably out until the beginning of next year. But for the most part, every single other project should be done within this construction season or by this fall time. So how are we reaching out to y'all to make sure that you have an opportunity to understand, get updates, and understand what's going on? And if you have concerns and issues, where do you go? So those that are living along any of the street segments that we're constructing, we have actually already did door hangers so that you knew that this project is coming. Soon we'll be sending out a mailer to the neighborhoods, the areas around those streets. That'll help those people that are next to it but not immediately impacted by the construction. It'll give you an opportunity to understand what's going on, and if you choose to get email updates, we put you in that list, and every once in a while we'll give you an update, and that'll help you understand what's going on. Is it on schedule? Is it over schedule? And what's the current construction elements are going to be happening over the next few days or next few weeks or so. And then one of the things we want to make sure you have an opportunity to do is we have a website set up. It's called fundingourfutureslc.com. And if you go to that website, and I'll give you some direction on where to go, we have the opportunity to sign up to get email updates for the projects you're interested in. So if you go to fundingourfutureslc.com, and up in the upper right corner is a tab that says Learn More. If you click on that, there's a drop-down menu, and in that drop-down menu is the bond recon projects. And once you get there, you're going to see a whole slew of projects. You click on any of those projects, and there's contact information where you can reach out to us and get on our email updates. And at this point, I was going to turn this over to Valerie, and Valerie's going to talk a little bit more about this interactive map that we have.
So like Matt said, it's located on the fundingourfutureslc.com page under the Learn More dropdown. And when the map opens up, you see that the project locations are displayed on the right side here. The projects are also listed in the left panel. These projects are listed the same ordering as our 6-year plan, which is available in the top menu here if you'd like to view it. So to see information about a project, you select a project from the list. You'll see a larger image of that project appear in the side panel, as well as the overview, the estimated year, cost, and again, that contact information. You can navigate through this project list by using these 2 arrows up here. And as you can see, by clicking through the projects, the project location will reflect in the map as well. And you can view the information here. So, alternative to using the project list, you can use the map itself to find information about a project. There are zoom tools located in the left side here. You can also use your mouse to pan and your mouse's scroll to zoom. So, once you navigate to a specific project that you would like to find out information about, you just bring your mouse over to see the title, select it, and then the information will be displayed in the side panel here. Lastly, I would like to show at the end of the project list, there is a section for more information. And here we provide a link to our bond info page. This page has a little bit more detailed information about our bond, and you can also access that page by clicking the Learn More link up here in the top menu. And yeah.
That's what we have?
That's what we have.
Good.
Great. Should we get to the questions? As a community member, this website is awesome, so thank you. First question is from John. This one's near my house, so I have the same concern. Can you do some traffic calming on Parley's Way and at the intersection of 2300 East and Parley's Way?
Yes. Can we do traffic calming? We can evaluate it. So yes, I mean, we can take that request and we can, we've got a group that will look at our traffic calming issues and evaluate it and give you an answer.
Okay. How about from Alex? Will we see protected bike infrastructure as part of the reconstructions?
On the local streets, no. I'm trying to think through on some of the streets we have. 7th Way. We have bike lane. Let me back up a little bit. And we are following our complete streets ordinance. And so we are putting bike lanes in the 3 arterial collector streets. So 20th East will have bike lanes, 5th East will have bike lanes, and 7th West will be designed so bike lanes can be installed. Our bike master plan called for protected bike lanes or buffered bike lanes in 20th East, and I believe we are putting in buffered bike lanes.
Great, thank you. What's the timeline for reconstruction projects? For an example, how long will the 500 East reconstruction take? How long will this impact my neighborhood with road closures?
5th East is going to take us a little bit longer than the other streets because we have a large aqueduct pipeline going in. It's a 48-inch pipeline. The problem we have with that pipeline is it's large. It's a specific pipe. It's going to take a little bit of time for us to get it ordered, get it on site, and get it installed. So 5th East is the one project where we'll get a lot of work done this year, but because of that pipeline, we're probably not going to be able to reconstruct segments of the road until halfway through the season. It is anticipated that it probably will need to be open for construction through next spring.
If I don't see my street listed on the 2-year plan, why not? And is there a way I can get my street listed?
That's a good question. We have, if you look at the 2-year plan, which is on the board behind us, that's for the next 2 years. If you don't see your street on that list, click on the 6-year plan and see if your street is listed on that 6-year plan. If it is not listed on that 6-year plan, contact us at engineeringinfo@saltlakecitygov.com and let us know which street you're interested in. But please, if you do email us, don't just say I want my street done. Please give us why you believe your street needs to be done. We have a lot of streets that are in really rough shape, and we have to make a decision as to where to best spend the funds. So, for instance, we know that a lot of our short cul-de-sacs are in really horrible condition, but we have to balance that with where the community as a whole gets benefit. And so a lot of the streets, as poor as they are not in the bond projects today. So, but let us know. Contact us. We have already been doing some shuffling around of projects as we try to work with residents and communities. But if we don't know, we can't do anything about it.
If people just need potholes refilled, how could they go about that?
Don't we have that on our?
Yep.
We have, if you go to fundingourfuture.slc.com, and I think it's Valerie scroll to it, there's a report a pothole link on our site.
Awesome. How is the city being more proactive in addressing street conditions?
The first step is what we're doing right now. There's two things we're doing. One is the passing of the bond helps us get a jump on the quality of our streets. It's going to help us immensely. Our streets were deteriorating, and the bond, the hope is that it'll stop that deterioration and help us get on a path where we're improving the streets. More importantly, for the quality of our streets, the best thing we've done is we've hired a second maintenance crew. And that second maintenance crew is going to really help us be able to keep the streets that are in good to fair condition, keep them in good to fair condition so they don't continue to drop off to the point where we need to spend larger dollars to reconstruct or to fix them. So that's our bigger long-range plan, is to make sure that the streets that are in good and fair condition, keep them through good maintenance practice. And as we work through these, get more of these streets that are in bad condition, get them up into fair and good condition through the reconstruction.
Okay. What else are you doing or have you done to inform residents about these projects?
It's a multi-level process. I know we talked about our outreach, but every single project we try to come out with some different way to reach out to the residents. Facebook Live, I think, is one wonderful way to make sure that we get to a larger audience. I think our overall goal is, instead of requiring the residents to come to us, that we go to them. So Facebook Live, email updates. There's constant ideas of different ways to reach out to people to make sure that they know what's going on and when it's coming. And in the middle of construction, be aware of the issues that are occurring.
Awesome. Can I make a pitch for community councils? These guys
Community
do a great
councils
job
also, yes.
of coming to community councils throughout the city to talk about these projects.
And we try to do that, and Adon is in our office. He does our outreach. He does a great job of talking with our community councils and making sure that if we have a project in one of those districts, that we do want to get on your agenda so we can talk more about that with those people.
What's the difference between streets reconstruction and streets maintenance?
There are 4 elements, 2 in maintenance, 2 in reconstruction. I'll say there's 3 in maintenance. So our maintenance people, they do our slurry seals, they do our chip seals, and they do the inlays. And their goal is, on asphalt streets, asphalt becomes brittle over time. And so the slurry seals, what it do, and chip seals, what they do is they rejuvenate the surface of the road to keep it flexible. And that keeps the asphalt in place. It keeps it from breaking apart. As those roads deteriorate and they get down, I think I mentioned below, a grade of 40, slurry seals and chip seals don't do anymore. They can't fix the road. They can't hold the road together. And once they get below 40, we have to reconstruct. As they're getting to 40, if we can get on them, we have an opportunity to mill out, take out about 3 inches of asphalt and put 3 new inches of asphalt. If it continues dropping out, then we have to completely reconstruct, take all the asphalt out and put brand new asphalt in.
Okay. Why are there only 2 years worth of projects listed on the website?
If we put all 6 years on, I don't think the website would be manageable. Wouldn't it be too many? So we decided putting the next 2 years out is probably a good balance to make sure that people it wouldn't be overwhelming the website. We do have the 6-year plan. It is on the Funding Our Future, slc.com, so you can go to that and see what our plan is for the next 6 years. But the website, we just wanted to keep it 2 years so it's not overly cluttered.
Okay. Are you also replacing aging water and sewer infrastructure as part of these projects?
We are. Most of our projects do have a huge water, sewer, stormwater component to them. A little bit more than I was expecting. But we are replacing anything that's in need of replacement. We work closely with public utilities, and we make sure that happens when we're doing the project. Because, like I said, we don't want to have to come back in and tear the road up after we pave it because we forgot to put a new water line in.
With the raised crosswalks on 2700 South, will you start doing more of those around the city?
I'm glad 2700 South raised crosswalks are in because we can direct people to those and they get an idea or a sense of what they really are. We had we struggled helping the community around 2700 South understand what we were trying to accomplish with those raised crosswalks and their impacts to the travel time and to people moving through that area. Now that it's in, and we've driven it a bunch of times, I think people will be more accepting of them. We are putting them in on 5th East, and I hope we continue to put them in.
Yeah, me too. How are these projects prioritized?
I talked a little bit earlier about that, where we do a survey of our roads, and that gives them a grade, and our goal is to work from the worst to the first, so attack the worst streets first. But we have to take into consideration streets projects, our transportation projects, and our public utility projects, coordinating with all those other divisions to make sure that we're taking into account the projects that they have. All that information gets thrown into a box, and we work our way through that and figure out which projects need to go first and prioritize it that way.
What are some ways you can do traffic calming measures?
Oh, that's a good question. We have a lot of tools that we use, but the return on investment on a lot of those tools is we're trying to get a better understanding of that. We do bulb outs. We are doing raised crosswalks, but the raised crosswalks isn't about traffic calming. It's about helping the pedestrian have a better visual of the pedestrian. But our transportation division is putting together a toolbox to help them as they go out to each of these projects, identify where the calming needs to happen and which tools to use. So there's no set tool. There's a whole bunch of them, and they try to use the ones most appropriate.
How will I be impacted by construction? How much will this vary for each project?
Each project will be different. Without starting the projects yet, we haven't gotten deeply into the contractor schedule. The larger projects, 5th East, 20th East, 7th West, there probably will be full road closures at times. We will work with the contractors to keep lanes open during the rest of the time. So, but we don't have that information yet, and it's coming. That's if you get on our email updates, we'll start pumping that information out once we start getting it.
Okay. Will I be able to use my driveway while construction is taking place? Were they able to on 1300 East?
No. It depends on the project. We try to make sure that people can get in and out at all times during a construction project, or if we can't during the day, at least get in the evening hours. But when we do drive approaches, those are concrete, and it takes 3 or 4 days for those to be installed and for them to set up before you can drive across them. So it's a varying question. The answer is, for the most part, you'll be able to access your drive, but there will be times during the construction where access will not be available. That was a non-answer.
I'd buy it. Will there be night work? What are the hours of operation?
Right now, we have not scheduled any night work. Usually, we'll start seeing those later in the summer as contractors are may be falling behind, and we try to come up with solutions to get them back on schedule and make sure they finish. Night work, weekend works are all possibilities, but we try to keep it Monday to Friday for the most part.
Okay. When is construction starting, and how long will these projects take to complete?
Construction is going to start in April for the most part. All the projects with different contractors, they will all start a little bit differently, but really you're going to start seeing them in early April. That they'll be starting to mobilize out the site and starting to work on the roads.
Sidewalks and park strips are all replaced?
If a sidewalk's in bad shape, if curb and gutter's in bad shape, it will be replaced. There are sections where we're replacing all the sidewalk, so it depends on the road section which one we're doing. There may be sidewalk being added, but in every project we have, there will be continuous sidewalks.
And the landscaping is?
And we have landscaping in all of our projects also, yes.
And you just replace what it was there before? Is that how it works?
To some degree. 20th East, we have a roundabout going in on 20th East, and so we have a center of the roundabout that I believe has landscaping in it. So there'll be new landscaping, but we try to, on people's frontages, replace with equal to or better landscaping.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. It looks like, and they'll continue to take questions after this is over. I'd like to thank Salt Lake City on behalf of all the community councils for including us. If we didn't get to your question, go ahead and comment below, and the city will have someone get in touch with an answer. Again, you can check out the maps and locations of the project by visiting fundingourfutureslc.com. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.